Hey everybody, Corn-Fed Lady here, and today I'm going to take you around our homestead and give you some updates on all of our new baby animals. About 2 weeks ago, we incubated 17 chicks. And let me turn down the red on that filter for you. There, that's better. Now you can actually see their pretty little faces. Hey guys, good morning. Are you doing okay in there? Everybody healthy and strong and happy? You can see we've got quite the variety of colors in here. All of these babies came from the chickens that we already have on our homestead. So they could be a mix of Buff Orpington, Barred Rock, and whatever Moo and Opal are, some kind of feathered feet looking rock thing. So we got quite the mix in here. Let's get babies. Are you getting big? Are you trying to get some feathers? You can see they're starting to get wing feathers and tail feathers. And they're starting to hop around and try to jump on top of things and fly. And when they get all of their feathers and get big enough, we'll move these babies outside to the hoop coop that I showed you in another video. And just a couple of days after the baby chicks hatched, our bunnies gave birth to their babies also. And we have 4 mother rabbits, and they each had a litter of babies. It's been almost 2 weeks ago, and they're just now starting to open their eyes. Oh, let me see. Here's one. It's just now starting to open their eyes and lift up their ears, and they're starting to hop around a little bit and be more aware of their environment. Hello, fella. What do you think? And let's see, here's another one. Oh, this one's awful big. Look how big you are, huh? Are you getting pretty big? That one's mostly white. Yes, there you go. And I've got one more back here, and it is a gray color. Oh, come here. But you can see they're getting pretty big. 2 weeks old, starting to open their eyes a little bit. And you don't want to force them. You can see this one's kind of sealed shut a little bit. Just leave it be, and it will eventually open, just like the other one. That one's starting to open too. Hey, little baby. I'll put you back in there. But they're getting pretty big. Come out of there. That is not your proper nesting spot. Come out of there. There's your nesting hole, honey. You got lost in there. Cover them back up. And I've got one more litter I need to check out today. Hey, Midnight. Now, after the first few days, I don't check them every day. I just check them the first day and then maybe the second or third day, just to make sure that they're all developing and growing and staying alive. But after the first couple days, I kind of quit checking, except for every few days, just to make sure there's no issues. So it's been a few days since we've checked both Beebs and Midnight's babies. Now, these two are some seasoned mothers. They already know what they're doing, so I trust them a little more. But I did just recently check the other 2 breeders' sets of babies this morning, and they're doing fine. All right, Midnight, I'm going to check your babies for a second. I'll bring them right back, Mama. So we always check to make sure there's no babies laying on the wire. And by this we mean laying actually on this wire floor. Because if they come out of the box and lay on this wire floor, especially this time of year, it can get pretty cold and they can actually freeze to death. So we check for that, a few times a day, especially each night before I go to bed. But let's take a peek at Midnight's babies in here. And Midnight is a very good mom, so I'm guessing they're all fine. Hello, little fella. And getting big. Starting to open the eyes. You can see a little glisten of light in the eye. Oh, that one's open. Good baby. And the other thing you want to look for when they start to open their eyes, make sure this bedding is nice and clean and dry. Because if it's not, they can get bacterial infections in their eyes as they're opening them. That's a cutie. That one looks kind of like brains. So we've got a mixture of grays, blacks. Everybody looks happy and healthy in there. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. 7. Oh no. Oh no. This one didn't make it. And this is why we check. This is exactly why we check. So one of them didn't make it. Luckily it had been shoved over here in the corner away from the rest. There's just a stick and some fur in there. We'll get that dirty part out of there from where it was laying. That's exactly why we check. Alright. I am going to move these guys towards the back while I finish cleaning out the front. Looks like she had some sticks shoved in there. Alright. We'll leave most of this fur in here, because that helps keep them warm. The rest of this looks pretty clean, so I'm just going to get some fresh hay in there. Alright, that ought to be better for them. And they're in the back now, so they're further away from where that one was. And I've put fresh hay and cleaned it out. And this little fella, I'm gonna have to bury. And just over here is our new pig pen area. And as early as maybe next weekend, we'll be getting 4 Berkshire pigs to put in this area to grow up for meat. Now, if you've been following our channel, then you may remember last year we had 2 Berkshire pigs in this pasture area. and that was bacon and sausage. And my husband has just since seeded this area with some feed seed and covered it up with some hay and bunny poo from our bunny shed. That's actually leftover hay from the bunnies and their poop. So that'll help allow for a second pasture so that we can move them on out further as they get larger. They'll be starting off in this little green pastured area. We've already moved their shelter from the old pasture over to the new pasture. And we also moved the feeding and watering station from the old pen over to the new pen. And just recently, my husband has also installed all of the electric wiring inside of this fenced-in area. So you see, we went with 2 strands this year. Last year we had 3 strands, but they never touched the top strand. So this year we just left the 2 bottom strands in. And they go all the way around behind the shelter there. And then in the shelter, we made an improvement by adding this front half wall, just to give them a little more protection from the weather. But there's plenty of room in there for 4 pigs, 4 small baby pigs. And we made this shelter last year out of pallets and then put a tin roof on top. And it served pretty well for those couple pigs we had last year. So this year we're hoping it's still big enough for those 4 small Berks that we're getting to raise up. And like I said, as they get bigger, we're going to open up this little gate in between, and they'll be able to graze all the way on out to last year's pasture as well. So they'll get twice the area for twice the pigs. And just in case the weather is too bad to have them out there in that little shelter, we have set up a stall for them in the barn as an emergency getaway in case there's bad weather. So in here they've got a feeding trough and a watering barrel that we can put up on those bricks. So we've got these reinforced all the way around here because pigs like to push and rub on the walls. And if you let them push and rub on these panels, they're just nailed in from the outside, so they can push on them quite hard and pop them right off of these 2x6s. But with this board out in front, they're going to be pushing and rubbing on this instead, and it'll just push up against these beams. So, no problem. And there's plenty of dry straw in here for them. Hey, Gabby Kitty. So if the pigs need a spot to get away from bad weather, we do have this kind of emergency fallout stall for them. And it's like a, I don't know, 1.5, 2 horse stall. So it's plenty of room for 4 small baby piglets. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us on our homestead updates. And be sure you're subscribed to our channel so you don't miss out on the upcoming baby piglet video. Thanks. Have a good one.